have the current cryptocurrency market update for Bitcoin in relation to the US dollar, cryptocurrency ticker BTC. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find this educational material to be helpful, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So what we're starting to see here, this is what we're looking at the moment, is the daily time frame. So each candle on this time frame represents a 1 full day trading period. It's a bit of a longer term view. And the reason that I'm starting with this is because I think that what we're starting to see here is the development of a bull flag pattern. This is a very significant price movement here. And this does suggest, a tremendous amount of upside if this price pattern does actually start to play out. So, we are starting to see a lot of upside action in, in stocks like MicroStrategy, Coinbase, Mara Holdings. I've released videos recently on all of these stocks, and I do suggest that people take a look at these stocks, even if you're not interested in the stock market. I do think that a lot of these names are sort of trading in tandem with one another. What's good for one tends to be good for the other. And when we start to see the entire space that's starting to move in one direction, it becomes a little bit difficult to ignore, the trend activity that you're starting to see here. So, the main driver in all of this is going to wind up being Bitcoin. If Bitcoin collapses, MicroStrategy collapses. So if we see Bitcoin move higher, then we would probably see these other stocks move higher as well. So, currently what I'm seeing here is looking very much like a bull flag pattern. And what's interesting here is that this is also happening near really very close to all-time highs. There's a lot of resistance that is found right around the $70,000 mark. We have seen prior highs there in the past, and then we did see a brief spike above there, but there really wasn't much follow through on a percentage basis. I mean, the cryptocurrency here, the market really did need some time to sort of consolidate at these upper levels. So if we're looking at these prior lows here, we can see that there was a fairly substantial sell-off in the negative direction, but most of this activity has been centered toward these upper levels. So I would have to consider this to be more of a consolidation zone rather than much of a failure. But it is clear that this is really a very significant long-term level. I mean, right around $70,000. I don't think that it's constructive to try to pinpoint exact price levels with Bitcoin or probably really any cryptocurrency because, there's so much slippage involved. It's a global market. It's constantly open. There's so many different factors involved, and expecting any of these technical signals to play out, to the penny it's completely unrealistic. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So we do have to sort of take a general view of what we're seeing here. And, to me, what is significant here is that, the crypto, Bitcoin has had a tremendous amount of difficulty overcoming the 70,000 level. I'm not saying that it can't overcome that or something like that, but I think that we can't really deny here that, this initial failure at 69,000, not a coincidence, because we start to see share prices kind of move back into that area again. We see a slight break higher, but then a fairly significant failure here to the downside, all the way into the lower 58s. So, those are significant moves lower. We didn't spend too much time in that area. And most of the price action has been consolidating at these upper levels. So to me, this does look like, as far as price action is concerned, this does look like we're ready to start moving higher. And when we compare this with the fact that all of these other, crypto stocks are kind of supporting that outlook, you have to start to look in that direction because, we're not really seeing excessive price movements unless we look at the shorter term timeframes. I suppose we could do that quickly just to end the video, but first, I would just point out that the indicator reading on the daily time frame, which is quite important, it's not a short-term time frame. The reading here is bullish. We are starting to see some higher lows in the relative strength index, and then this prior downtrend, which was a bit drastic, not really a sustainable slope here, but that has broken now to the top side. So I wouldn't say that this negative indicator reading is currently in place. I would say that for the most part, the real price action here is focused on the top side. So it would take a lot of price movement here to sort of break that condition. We would really need to see share prices probably move at least into the lower 60s, really, test around $60,000 possibly to test, test that area, and, to break through that resistance zone, because what we're dealing with here is a daily reading in the relative strength index. So, the longer term view here, maybe I won't have time to go to the shorter term timeframes here, but the real issue here is that if what we are seeing here is a bull flag pattern, the projections for this type of chart pattern are dramatic. I mean, if you start to see a breakout here, and we're starting to see a breakout here, the ultimate projection here is equal to the length of the flagpole. This would put us right around $115,000. So it's a very significant move here to the top side, and it does look like this is in the early stages of occurring. So if we do see this convincing break here of the ultimate flag pattern, you could be looking at some significant runs higher. And the way that I would personally trade this myself, if I was going to base a position on this, I would be going into relatively small positions, and I would be looking to stop out below 60,000. So I would have very wide parameters on this trade here, and that's why you need to have smaller position sizes. So below 60,000 would probably be the stop loss level, and then to the top side, you could be looking at a price target of about $115,000. So in terms of the risk to reward perspective here, that would give you a favorable outcome. Because there's much less room to the downside than there would be to the top side. But this is really starting to look like we could be on the verge of a major move higher. And, people like Tom Lee, for example, nice enough guy and everything like that. But, he's been saying the end of year target for Bitcoin is $100,000 for like the last 5 years. It's never occurred. To me, this is just really a round number. But if this breakout does occur, we could finally start to see some movement into that area. I don't want to focus on $100,000 specifically, because in my view, that's a round number. That's a random round number. Really not significant here. But if we look at 115,000, I do think that there's a bit more technical significance there, and I do think that that has a bit more viability as an upside price target. We can also see the sort of time frame where this could start to occur, and it would roughly be toward the beginning of next year, like possibly February, that type of price movement could occur. So here's the current market update for cryptocurrency ticker BTC. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.